What's going on, gamers? It's your boy Daily Tactics here, and we have the largest crusade battle we've ever done. So this small crusader fortress has about 100,000 soldiers inside of it, most of which are heavy knights, but there are a number of archers inside as well. They have to hold out against 5 million Egyptians and Persians that are outside wanting to retake this fort. Now that's not all. There's a little surprise as well. There are 1.5 million Crusader Knights and footmen off in the distance coming to reinforce the small fort here, and hopefully together they can win the battle. So guys, without further ado, we're gonna get into this thing. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you have not already, and comment down below if you'd like to see some more. Either way, let's get into it. Alrighty then, pressing start right now, and we have all of the Persians as well as Egyptians sprinting on forward towards the compound here. There are a number of archers that spawned outside of the compound, so these guys will likely die out pretty quickly. Obviously, they're not behind cover or anything like that, which is not the most helpful. Maybe they could get a few kills before the day is done, but I don't expect big things from these archers, so the Crusaders are going to start off with pretty bad numbers here at the very beginning. However, the folks on the interior should be doing pretty well once these enemies start coming for them in here. Now, let's zip on over this way and see what's going on. So, it looks like a small detachment of Egyptians and Persians over here are starting to move in the direction of the reinforcing Crusaders, where we have 1 million footmen, as you can see here, as well as 500,000 heavy knights who are in the mix as well. So these forces will clash out here in the desert, and that is going to start, it looks like, right about here. Now the footmen and the Persians are definitely the two weaker units of this battle. Meanwhile, the Egyptians as well as the heavy knights are the two stronger reinforcements in this battle. Here we've got a massive clash between these two armies now, the reinforcers going up against the back lines of the enemies of the Crusaders here, baby. So this is going to be a massive battle within a battle that we've got going on right now, which I think should be super duper cool. It looks like a few million soldiers going to meet those reinforcements over here, and of course 1.5 million of the reinforcements clashing with these guys, and it's very cool to watch them sort of generate their lines. It's almost like a zipper zipping up right here as both sides end up meeting in the middle, which is incredibly cool. So you've got the two sides just zipping up and beginning their combat against one another right here. Many bodies will end up falling on this battlefield, creating massive body piles all throughout. It'll be absolutely devastating without a doubt. Now let's zip back on over to the fort. Over this way, you could barely see it amongst the sheer number of Persians and Egyptians over here. Crazy numbers for those guys. But here we've got the fort with the Persians and Egyptians just now starting to attack the interior of it, where it's primarily heavy knights defending, so a very strong unit here to operate a defense. And then of course we've got all these archers back here as well, being able to fire at the entrances and hopefully get a few bonus kills in there as well for the Crusaders right now, which basically anything that they can manage to snag onto during this battle, any kill they can get is going to end up benefiting them in the long run. We've got folks up on these ramparts here firing out as well, which is pretty cool. Hopefully they're getting some good aim in and taking out a number of these Persians, or at the very least weakening them, so the heavy knights on the interior of these walls have an easier time taking out the Persians. But look how many are just coming through here. It is absolutely astronomical. Massive numbers for both sides clashing right now. Absolute brutality incarnate in this battle. Either way, why don't we go ahead and do our first time lapse of the battle. Why don't we do one of these entrances here? I'm thinking the main one that we're looking at right now, and we'll watch the Persians carve their way through multiple heavy knights in this. Let's do it. Alright, so the Persians and Egyptians over here actually did manage a pretty good breakthrough, and it seems like over here they're getting stopped pretty hard though. So let's see how the reinforcements are doing, which are seeming more and more essential as this battle goes on. That fort will not last very long. We need the reinforcements to break through over here and get over there, but it seems like the reinforcements are just tied up in their own gigantic battle over this way. Which is just resulting them being super slow to be able to actually respond and get on over to the fort. Now the fort, of course, will last a decently long time. It does have a lot of troopers in here, and it's killing a lot of troopers. So you know, I'm not overly concerned about the fort, you know, managing to hold out for a good amount of time. It's just the problem is that the reinforcements over here have their own long battle, so they need to act quick is the problem. And I'm not sure if they're going to manage to act super duper quick. Either way, why don't we go ahead and do a time lapse of this massive battle that's going on over here and watch these lines go at each other for quite a while here. Alright gamers, so we can easily see that the Knights are managing to push forward over here. The reinforcements are making moves forward. It's just taking a real long time. A real long time. Actually, there's a little fight over in the water here. This could be kind of cool. Let's see. Yeah! Look at that! Oh, that's kind of baller though. Heck yeah. Oh, this looks sick. That's very cinematic. I like that a lot. Ooh, Knights going down in the water. Persians going down in the water. Everything's going down in the water. Actually, some Persians are suiciding in the water over here. That's not good. That is not good at all. Alright, back to the fort. Let's go check out what's going on at the fort. Hopefully they're holding out a decent bit. If they're not... They're doing very mediocre. They're certainly not doing very well. Honestly, I think I might have made the attackers a little too OP. A little too OP. Since the battle is not super far in yet, I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back again. And I did that because, truthfully, I really want the battles to be more even these days. I've seen a lot of people annoyed with uneven battles, and I thought the last one would be, but we're going to try again. So this time around, I reinforced the castle with some active attacking heavy knights as well to charge out. I think this actually makes it a little bit more interesting. I'm glad I did this. And on top of that, instead of 500,000 heavy knights attacking from over here as reinforcements, there are now 1 million heavy knights. So there's 2 million soldiers reinforcing currently for the Crusader army, as well as just a few more troopers inside of the castle itself. And I think that should make things a little bit more even Stevens for everyone involved in this battle. And I think it gives a lot more time for the interior to hold out. I thought the interior would hold out for longer. You guys heard me say that. But once I saw that the attackers were already to like this position here, I was like, oh shoot. Yeah, they're not holding this. I quickly realized. So, you know, oh look, you can see some of the dead heavy knights who headed out this way, who have been slain by the Persians. And a few more, heroically fighting for their lord. Hold the Holy Land, Deus Vult! Yes! Well, either way, these guys are getting nice and bloodied out here. working their magic against these Persian army folk and Egyptian army folk. And of course, we've got the reinforcements still coming in from over here too, which should be helpful as well. So we do have 4.7 million attackers and 2 million defenders slash reinforcements going on in this battlefield, which should make a difference at the end of the day. Here we can see that zipper effect in action yet again over here, which I think is always just really, really cool to see. Just the two sides colliding is so dope. Wait, let's watch them meet. They should meet like right around here, I feel like. Yeah, slowly, slowly. They're coming closer to the camera. Let's go. Get in here, boys. Join the fight. Clash. I was a little off. Need to be a little bit to the right. But still, very cool to see that kind of thing happening. It's just kind of dope. It just really is dope to see them connecting. And this is the only game where you can truly see that kind of stuff happen. I mean, in Total War, you can on a much, much smaller scale. But in such a massive battlefield, the only place you can see it is Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2. And that's what makes this game absolutely beautiful. So you can see outside here, the Heavy Knights are actually chopping through a lot of these Persians like butter. Of course, they have a limited supply of these Heavy Knights that are going to be attacking outward. And once all of the Persians have sort of defeated them, then it'll be up towards the interior defenses to fight at that point. I think we're going to do a really, really large view, bird's eye view of the defense that's going on currently for our next time lapse. So let's run that and see how cool it looks. Alright, so I let that run for a very, very long time for a reason, because I wanted to see the progress inside. And it seems like actually very little progress has been made inside by the Persians. This door still maintaining, and this area over here barely a bulge on in there. So I think the counter-attacking Knights has significantly helped the defenders in all of these different aspects. That's great. Let's check out the reinforcements. So it looks like actually these guys are sending more and more troopers splintering off to go help out against the reinforcing Crusader army. And it looks like there's good reason to that. So this is where the Crusader army initially made contact. You can tell by the body mound here. And then they're all the way over here now. Very, very far push in that way. And not to mention, they have a few lines that are really thin for the defenders against the reinforcements. Like, this is very thin, not too much longer, and they'd probably be broken off. Let's check out the water fight right now, because that's always kind of cool to see. And yeah, we do have both sides fighting in the water here, and it's brutal. I have to say, this is kind of sick. I'm really vibing with how this fight is turning out overall. I think this is definitely very, very, very cool. So why don't we go ahead and run another time-lapse, because these kind of large melee battles I think are really cool to see in time-lapse motion. So let's go ahead and get one like this, and I think partially in the water is kind of cool too. So let's watch as these knights tear it up through the water against these Persians. Alright, so some serious time has passed here, and it looks like the Crusader reinforcements are making big breakthroughs. You can see that the Persians and the Egyptians are trying desperately to plug these holes, but they don't have the forces to really make that happen. So the knights and the footmen are continuing to flood on through in different areas here. Although a little bit of an encirclement going on over this way for the Crusader army. That could be a little bit of a problem for this little batch of Crusaders right here. But overall, the Crusaders seem to be winning this part of the battle. Now let's look in on the rest of the fort, see if they're holding out okay. And it looks like currently some major problems happening for the fort. They do have holdouts in the back area over this way. Yeah, pretty much the entirety of the back fort is okay. However, the Persians and the Egyptians are getting through in many different areas. We still have archers firing in from the rooftops and things like that. And these rooftop troopers tend to survive longer because the enemies have to glitch their way up and things like that. But it is looking a little bit desperate for these guys up top. So we need these reinforcements to get in here ASAP. Really soon, or else all could be lost here. It looks like that might be possible. I mean, look how thin these lines are over here. These guys are super close to a breakthrough, and then we could see some great stuff. So let's go ahead and leave this running for a while and see what happens. Alright, so now at this point in the fight, we have like a mass exodus of troopers running, booking it this way to try and plug the gap of the Crusader reinforcements over here. And it doesn't seem to be going super duper well for them. Ooh. Yeah, you okay? Come here, bud. He was just coughing a little bit. He seems okay. Alright, so yeah, just crazy amounts of troopers running this way, trying to plug the gaps. We'll see if they actually manage to do that. Might be a little bit more than they can do. And then inside the battlefield over here, we do have these heavy knights fighting against these boys, and you know, they're sort of dying out. But there are, of course, those boys still on top of the towers who clearly are putting up a fight over here. So it's going to be a while before we have an answer to who wins this. Okay, so I've let this run for some serious time here, and it seems like the Crusader reinforcements are still coming forward, and they've actually broken through completely just now and are racing to fight the Persians who are coming out of the castle. Now, there are still survivors within the castle. However, the Persians and Egyptians seem to not care about these guys anymore. I think they are realizing that, holy cow, we're now the ones under siege, and so they are trying to fight back against the reinforcements that are coming on in. And for the first time, the Persians and the Egyptians are outnumbered. Yeah, there were like 6 million of them to start, and now they are outnumbered by the people that they outnumbered 3 to 1, which is crazy. So these guys, the last remaining survivors inside here, have essentially been saved by their reinforcements. Maybe only 300, 400 troopers still remain inside of these walls, but hey, the fort will be saved, and these guys themselves will be saved from the fate of the rest of their troopers that are down on the ground now. So let's let this run for the remainder, and we'll see the final tally. Alright guys, so the Crusaders did end up winning that with 400,000 soldiers left alive. Pretty impressive stuff. Even footmen still alive, who are the weaker of their units. Now there are technically 14 Persians left alive somewhere. I have no idea where. They might be stuck under these body piles or something, but Crusaders did a very, very good job of this, cleaning up and all that. Really impressed. This was a great battle. I hope you guys did enjoy. Please be sure to hit the like button if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below if you'd like to see more. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.